Mexican, USA, March 24, 2015. A call comes to the police station that morning. In that call, a woman said a woman named Mitchell Blair was staying at her home with her two children. She has not paid her house rent for months. And after asking her many times, thus, I asked them to vacate the house. However, they stay in the house without vacating it. Due to this, she asked the police that you should vacate the house. After hearing about this, the police went to the house to vacate the house. When the policemen went to Mitchell's house, the door was locked. So they waited outside the house. For that, the owner of the house may ask the police to go inside the house and take all the things in the house and keep them outside. He has said that when Mitchell arrives, he will be investigated and sent away. Hearing this, the police officers go into Mitchell's house and take every item out. While taking it like this, they see that there is a white ice cream box in that house. Seeing this, the police officers doubted why such a big ice cream box is in this house. Then, the policemen open the ice cream box and look. When they open the box, a huge shock awaited them. They see the dead body of a young woman in the box. When they pick it up, they are shocked to see the corpse of another little boy under the dead body. Whose are these two corpses? Who will be responsible for this murder? Maybe Mitchell Blair would have done this. These police officers start investigating who the dead bodies belong to. The faces of the dead bodies were disfigured, and the police could not find out who the dead bodies belonged to. So, he sent the dead bodies for post-mortem. After a long time, Mitchell still hasn't come home. Maybe Mitchell got away with the murder. Or did they kill her in the same way? Police are looking for Mitchell inside the house. When the police search the house and find that Mitchell is not there, they start looking for Mitchell. As they search, they get information that Mitchell and her two children are near the house. When the police go to that place, they find Mitchell and her two children there. Mitchell apologizes when she sees the cops. Immediately, the policemen are suspicious. We didn't say anything. Why are they apologizing? The policemen question Mitchell. We heard you have 4 children, but there are only 2 children here. Where are the other 2 children? Mitchell became very quiet and strange when hearing this. Suspicious of this, the police immediately arrested Mitchell and started an investigation. After this, the doctors keep the corpses sent for post-mortem for 3 days for research. Doctors eventually confirmed that the 2 children were Mitchell's. Apart from that, they also say that someone beat these children and tortured them a lot. They said that after the death of the children, it was wrapped in a plastic cover and placed in a freezer box. And these bodies were kept in the freezer box for more than 3 years. Everyone was shocked to hear this. Hearing this, the police asked Mitchell, "You can't hide the truth anymore. What happened?" Mitchell started telling the truth. Mitchell Blair was born on May 10, 1979. She is in love and married to a man named Alexander. They have 2 children, Garbody and Stoney. After the birth of these 2 children, many problems begin to rise between Alexander and Mitchell. After this continued, they get divorced. After this, Mitchell meets a man named Perry, and they both fall in love and get married. They had 2 children together, Stephen and Matthew. Mitchell was 35 at the time, and now she has 4 children. Meanwhile, Mitchell Blair and Perry have moved into a rented house. After this, he and Mitchell start fighting. Mitchell divorces him too. Mitchell takes care of those 4 children. Then, Mitchell is not able to go to work, and it is very difficult to take care of the children. In fact, she can't even pay the rent for the house she's staying in. So, Mitchell seeks help from her relatives. When Mitchell asked her relatives for money, they asked, "What do you need money for?" She replied, "I need money to send my children to school and buy them food." And they said, "What are you going to do with your children's education? They are just like you. If you need it, you have to take care of it. Why should we give you money? You and your children do work and take care of yourselves." After being humiliated by her relatives like this, Mitchell wanders around looking for work, but she doesn't find any job. This causes Mitchell to become very stressed, so all her anger goes towards her children. She is very cruel to them even if he makes more mistakes at home. After a few years, she gets a job. One day, when she comes home from work, she finds her youngest son misbehaving with his toy. Seeing this, Mitchell asked Matthew very angrily, "Why are you doing like this?" And Matthew said that his brother Stephen had misbehaved with him and that he was doing it with his toy. It was terrible to hear this enraged. Mitchell takes Stephen and locks him in a room and begins to beat and torture him. After that, Mitchell tortures Stephen a lot without giving him any food. At one point, Mitchell strips Stephen of all his clothes and pours boiling hot water on him. Ignoring his cries of pain, Mitchell pours hot water on him again and again. As a result, some parts of Stephen's body are burned. At one stage, Mitchell puts a belt around Stephen's neck and lifts him up. Then, he starts screaming in pain. Mitchell smiles and asks him, "Are you feeling better now?" After all this torture, Stephen dies exactly 2 weeks later on August 30th, 2012. Seeing this, Mitchell goes to the store with no regrets and buys a white icebox. Then Mitchell puts Stephen's body in the icebox. With a plastic wrap, she keeps that icebox in the hall. 9 months after Stephen's death, Mitchell sees her older sister Stoney misbehaving with Matthew. Seeing this, Mitchell is very angry and calls Matthew and starts questioning him about this. Matthew then told Mitchell that his older sister Stoney sexually tortured him. Angrily, Mitchell takes Stoney and ties her up in the bathroom of the house. She tortures Stoney more than she tortured Stefan. She keeps Stoney locked in that bathroom and tortures her badly, without giving her food or water. Apart from that, she tears her skin and causes burns. Unable to endure all this torture, Stoney dies in month of May 2013. Stoney's body was so heavy that Mitchell couldn't put it in the freezer box by herself. On seeing this, Mitchell's daughter Carpoddy helps her, or both of them put Stoney's body in the freezer box. After this, they go back to their daily lives. As if nothing had happened, no one suspects Mitchell. Everyone at the side of the house asks Mitchell where Stoney and Stephen are. Mitchell lies to them that both of them are not feeling well and that they are inside the house. This is how Mitchell goes about her life, until one day she gets a call at her home number. She picks up the call with trepidation. To Mitchell, only after taking that call, it seems that the call came from their children's school. Stephen and Stoney, their class teacher, asked to Mitchell, "Why aren't your 2 kids at school?" Mitchell told the school teachers that she didn't have the money to send them to school. The school teachers were not suspicious of Mitchell because they knew about Mitchell's condition. Mitchell tells her 2 kids when they go to school to just tell anyone who asks about Stephen and Stoney that they're home. They lead life for 3 years without anyone suspecting it. After this, the owner of the house complains to the police that Mitchell has not paid the rent. That's when the police find the dead bodies in the icebox that was in Mitchell's house. Then the police find Mitchell and arrest her. After that, she tells the truth to the police. The cops couldn't believe it, so the cops were sure your kids were really having sex too soon, they asked. Mitchell immediately replied. She confessed to the police that there was some evil force in the body of the 2 children, and that is what made them do that. That is why I did this. No one could believe that Stephen and Stoney were actually having sex, as Mitchell told. Cops asked neighbors about Mitchell and her children. Some of them said that Stephen and Stoney were very protective of her siblings and could not have done what Mitchell said, and that Mitchell was lying. Others said that Mitchell was so poor, she couldn't take care of their children, and that she killed the children in a fit of stress, and blamed them on the children. The police take Mitchell to court, as everyone who interrogates says Mitchell did it. When the case goes to court, Mitchell admits, "I committed the murder." She accepts the mistake, so the court gives her to life sentence. Why did Mitchell commit this murder? Maybe she killed because the children were actually having sex as she told, or because she couldn't afford to raise the children in poverty. Still, no one knows exactly what happened to the children in this case. The court closed the case based on what Mitchell said: forgive, embrace and accept your children, for whatever they do mistake.